Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and yeah, this puzzle is by Bremster. It's called Twisties. It's pretty difficult, apparently, so I'm looking forward to having a go. I do like sandwich Sudoku, and it's from a sandwich pack that Bremster created, so we'll have a look at that in a moment, and I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see how we go. Don't forget, on Monday we'll be going back into the Blue Prince house and trying to find some more of its secrets. We found a few of its secrets last time, but we didn't exactly progress in the way that I hope we will do each time, which is to create a full path to somewhere useful and get that done. But I think it's gradually dawning on me the game doesn't work that way. Do join us. We'll be going back on Monday. And that's a live stream that will happen at 10 p.m. our time. Now, let me try and get my dates right, because 27, 28, 29, 30. On the 1st, is that Tuesday? I don't know. But on the 1st, we'll be releasing the new pack, the new hunt on Patreon, Sudoku hunt. It's called Regeneration. We're regenerating some worms. Well, you'll have to regenerate some worms and solve some sequential Sudoku and try and do that if you want to be in with the chance of approx. So earnestly recommended. There's loads of good stuff on Patreon, including crosswords and connections videos and those Sudoku hunt packs, which will, for the $3 a month patrons, there are solution videos as well. So always worth joining Patreon, and worth getting our apps, which do feature. Sandwich Sudoku was the first ever app, and we've had line Sudoku as well, relevant to the Renbans in today's puzzle. Fog of War is the latest, but there's also now the SUDOKU Worms by James Sinclair and Marty Sears, and they're excellent. And there will be more. So there's also SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD on the links under the video, but the first one is to Bremster's puzzle, Twisties. And I'm going to go through the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 will go in every row. Oh, that wasn't quite a column. Every column and every 3 by 3 box. Now, a number outside the grid gives the sum of the digits between the 1 and the 9 in that row or column. So if the 1 was here and the 9 was here, these 3 digits would add up to 23. That wouldn't work. But that's what the numbers mean. The purple line, on each purple line there's a set of non-repeating but consecutive digits in any order. So this could be 3, 1, 4, 2, 5, for instance. But it won't be. Well, the chances are highly, highly unlikely. I don't know I don't know anything about it, except Bremster said it was a bit hard. So let's get cracking. Okay, so what I like to do in a sandwich puzzle is paint the crusts, which is my term for the 1 and 9, red, and the rest of the sandwich green. Now, all I get from that actually is that this is green. Because a 23 sandwich is at least 4 cells, we can only use the digits from 2 to 8, and 8, 7, 6 only add up to 21. And therefore must include the middle cell, and that's really not an advance. Okay, what about these interesting shaped Renbans? Are they any use to me? For instance, I know that these 2 cells see every cell on the Renban, so they can't appear on the Renban. And the same is true for these 2 cells about this Renban. Now, a 5-cell Renban has to have a 5 on it. If you think of the sequence of digits that can appear in a Sudoku, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, any consecutive sequence of 5 goes through the middle, which is a 5. So that means these 2 can't be a 5 because there must be a 5 somewhere there. These 2 can't be a 5 because there must be a 5 somewhere there. Only one 5 can appear in column 5 in one of those cells. So one of these 2 digits is the other 5 on these 2 Renbans, which is quite interesting, rather surprising, and probably not very helpful. However, do the central digits mean? Something about column 5 is interesting. I was thinking if this was an extreme Ren band, say this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like in my example, then these digits would have to be from 6, 7, 8, 9, and this Ren band would have to have high digits on it, at least a 6. But it may actually be more useful to think of the fact that, yeah, okay, these 8 cells, they don't have to contain both 1 and 9, but they must contain at least one of them. Therefore, one of these Ren bands is what I would call an extreme Ren band. It contains either one of them must contain either the digit 1 or 9. And then you know, once you know which one that is and whether it's 1 or 9, you know the whole of that Ren band, all of the numbers on it. If this one wasn't 1 or 9, then both of these would be extreme Ren bands. One would have the digit 1 on and one would have the digit 9 on. That's quite interesting too. What number would go in the middle then? Ah, that's that. Okay, that case that I've just proposed turns out to be impossible, which is lovely actually. And I'm going to, this is really, really helpful. What a fantastic break-in. I think I've got it. Bremster, I've got your break-in 3.5 minutes. Right, this is brilliant. Imagine that this, let's use a letter. Let's use a letter A. Imagine that this is A, and A is not 1 or 9. So imagine A might be 2, say. Then 1 and 9 in this central column must appear, one on each of the Ren bands, forcing one of the Ren bands to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the other to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, that is certainly a possibility. There is nothing to say that that couldn't be the case. Why have I worked out that it can't be the case? Because what would A be? A would be somewhere between 2 and 8. I may have just said, let's assume it's 2. Okay, let's assume it's 2. One of these Ren bands has got a 1 on, and therefore has also got a 2 on. And if it's this one, 2 can't appear in those cells because it sees 2 on this Ren band. If it's this Ren band that's got a 2 on, 2 can't appear in these cells. And this A becomes impossible. And that applies for any digit from 2 to 8. So this is 1 or 9. And that's fine in Ren band land, but it's really helpful in sandwich land, where this becomes a crust. And the 21 row now has a 3-cell sandwich emanating from this crust to one edge or the other. And that means I can colour all of these cells green. One of them is a set of 8, 7, 6 that is the sandwich. The other one are completely outside the sandwich. Now, could this be the 8, 7, 6? This would be 1 or 9, and then this Ren band would have to be 9 there, and 8, 7 here, and 6 here. That is possible. What if this was 8, 7, 6? This digit would be 1 or 9, and it would be the high, it would be the 9, so that this could be 8 or 7, and that would be 8 or 7, and that would be 8 or 7. Oh, bother, they both work. Oh, goodness. Okay, I don't know quite what to do next. But I'm delighted with the start we've made. Okay, if this was the 9, which we were just speculating about, then we would have a 17 sandwich sum in this column, which would either be those 3 cells or those 3 cells. And one of the end cells would then be a crust, a 1 or a 9, falling onto a Ren band. and making it an extreme 4-cell Renban. And that's quite interesting, but in fact, what did we say? This would be the 9 in that case. So the one in the corner, the crust in the corner would be a 1, and either this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, or this would be. I don't quite know what it means yet. This being a 9 Renban with 8, 7 there, and 6 here, and 1 here, would leave these being 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes things very easy over here. This being a 9 and this being an 8, 7 pair would make this a 6. That's quite interesting. In the row, either that is a 6 because this 8 or 7 has to go there, or this is a 6 because that has to be 8 or 7. So in the row, one of those is a 6. I don't know how to use that, but nonetheless, I have pencil marked it now. If this was a 9, I don't think we get quite as much information. So if this was a 9, what was I saying? 8 or 7, 8 and 7 in these cells. Oh, this is always a 1. I've only just worked that out. Sorry, it's either a 9 here to go with 8, 7 or a 9 here to go with an 8 or 7 there. So this is always the 1. There's my digit. Now, we cannot have... We do need a 9 in the central column. So one of these is an extreme Renban of 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I wish I knew which one. I wish I had a sandwich clue for the central column. The other one cannot have a 1 in it, and it can't be... right, so one of them is 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. In the central column, we do need to use the digits 2, 3, and 4. So the other Renban is going to be a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 one. It can't be a 1 because of this digit. So one of these Renbans is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to aide-memoire this. And the other one is 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And the shared digit is a 6. We can only have 1 6 in the central column, just like we can only have 1 5. So these two cells are going to have to be the other 5 and the other 6. And now my pencil marking in the central row has paid off. This one can't be a 6. And therefore this is not the 9 side, this is the 9 side. That is brilliant, Bremster, really is. Those are an 8, 7 pair to work with on this Renban. That digit in this sandwich has to be here. That's why I knew this would be the 6, and that's the 6. These are 2, 3, 4, 5 in the row, and 3 and 4 must be on the Renban, so can't be in that cell, which also, that's a useful alarm, isn't it? I think that's just a vehicle reversing or something. So this can't be a 5 because of the 5, 6 pair, and that's a 2. I've got 4 digits done. Now we learned we were going to have a 3-cell sandwich in column 1. Wow, that is annoying. I don't think there's going to be anything I can do about that beeping. I'm sorry. Oh, it's stopped. Right. We're going to have a 3-cell sandwich sum because 8 and 7 aren't enough. Sorry about the beeping. It is annoying me. I don't know about you. I don't want to break off, but maybe I'd better. Hang on a second. Right, it's a car alarm, which is now at least reduced to going off sporadically, but its owner is clearly nowhere near, and that's very annoying. And there's nothing. It's not being broken into. Anyway, where were we? 3-cell Renban, 3-cell sandwich necessary in column 1. And the 1 is either there or there, so I can colour all of these green. Now, where is the 1? Pencil marking across boxes has really paid off so handsomely as that 6. One of these is a 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, those were aide-memoires. Yeah, I don't see how Yeah, I also don't really know how we choose between one of these column 5 Ren bands being the 98765 and the 23456. I don't see how we choose which one of these is 1, 2, 3, 4. If this was, it's probably because there's a Ren band sandwich clue in this row. Sorry, I keep mixing up the words Ren band and sandwich. If this was a 1, this digit would be 2, 3, or 4. We would have a 10 sum and then a 9, which would either be there or there. It doesn't feel very helpful, actually. Okay, back to column 6. The 2 is in the sandwich because a sandwich of 20 is at least 3 cells big and you can't hide it either above or below that. So this 5 or 6, which is green as well, is also in the sandwich. It's not all that helpful again. 9, 7, 8, 6, 5, 6, 1, 2. Yet again, it almost feels like we just haven't got enough information, but it's felt that way in this puzzle already, and we've moved forward. Now, that 3 or 4 or 5 is also in a sandwich in this column. And we've got this 8 clue. That doesn't look like it's wildly helpful. It's either going to be a 1 cell or 2 cell sandwich. Goodness gracious, how on earth? Maybe I should actually calculate the 17. And there seem to be so many possibilities. We're using a candidate base of 8765432, so it could be 872, 836, 845, 764. That is too much of a range of choice to help. Okay, so let's think about this being a 1. If it was a 3 cell sandwich, it would be 2, 3, and 5. But these would be 2, 3, and 4. So this would have to be 2 or 3, as would that, and this would be a 5, and this would be a 9. However, if this was a 1, it could be a 2 cell sandwich with a 2, 3, or 4 here, and a 6, 7, or 8 that couldn't be a 6 here. Interestingly then, if this is a 1, am I claiming this is always a 2 or a 3? And there's always a 4 here? If this is a 1. But it doesn't have to be a 1, because this could be a 1. Oh, okay. Let's go back actually to those 3 cell combos that make 17, because they're going to have to push 2 cells into a box which is going to have a 1, 2, 3 and a 4 in it on one of these Ren bands. Ah, that is interesting. So you won't be able to use 2, 3 or 4 on the... And it can't be up here, can it? That's it. That's it. This would be a minimum 5 and 6. Plus 7 is 18. If this was the 1, 2, 3, and 4 would be up here. This would be a minimum 5 and 6 in the box. And that sandwich would add up to a minimum 18, which is not right. So this is the 1 at the bottom. That is very clever. I didn't see that coming. Right, so now I can do some of the thinking ahead I was trying to do down here. We get 2, 3, and 4 there. Let's just tidy up there. Right, we get 2, 3, and 4 here. And this sandwich is either 3 cells, in which case it has to be 2, 3, 5, and that'll be 2 or 3, and this will be 5, and this will be 2 or 3. Or it's 2 cells, in which case this is 2 or 3, and that's 7 or 8, because it can't be 6, and then that'll be 9. So this is always 2 or 3. There's now always a... Oh, I should actually think about how we make up the 17, because we've still got this issue with at least 5 and 6 here is 11, So at most a 6 here, but actually in this way round that was mandated already. This is 5, 4, 3 or 2. It's not so helpful, is it? This could be an 8-7 pair with a 2 or an 8-6 pair with a 3 or all kinds of possible. So I think that deduction was only useful for telling us where the 1 went. That's really irritating, actually. Now, so we've got this 2, 3, 4 group. 9 in the box is in one of those cells. These are from 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, we know that. That's not really interesting because there are so many 17 combinations still available here. 872, 863, 854, 764. They're all available. Bother. But we know there's a 4 in one of those cells. And is that going to inform the 8 row? 4 doesn't really, because the sandwich in the 8 row is going to be either a single 8, a 2-6 pair, or a 3-5 pair. 4 is not involved. Nine, obviously the crust in this row is in one of those 2 cells, so I could paint those all green, and that one of those is the crust. So the 9 over here, okay, that's interesting, is in one of these cells, because in box 9 we have to put the 9 that's in one of those. That's not uninteresting. There is a 9 in one of these cells. Now, it cannot be on the Renban. That's what I'm going to allege. No, I'm not. I'm going to say it can't be in this position on the Renban, because the Renban would then contain 8, 7, 6, 5, and these 2 would be green cells and would be in the sandwich and would be far too much for the sandwich. So that's not a 9. Now, can this be a 9 with, say, oh, it can't be a 9 with just 8 as the sandwich. Oh, it's interesting. It's interesting. It can't be a 9 with just 8 as the sandwich, as that can't be a 1. But it could be a 9 with 6 here and 2 here and 1 here. I think that is the only way for this to be a 9 with the sandwich going this way. For this to be a 9 with the sandwich going the other way, we would go 9, 8, 1. And then these 2 would be a 7, 6 pair. That seems fine. That seems annoyingly workable. And this could be a 9, except could it? Because then 1 would have to be on the Renban. Ah, okay, I'm now going to say, can this be a 9? This has shocked me a bit. I thought that could easily be a 9, but the 1 couldn't be further away than here. So 1 would be on the Renban. The Renban would consist of 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can't make up the 8 sum with 1 or 2 digits from 1, 2, 3, 4. So that can't be 9. So this must be 9. Extraordinary, extraordinary, rather brilliant as well. No. I'm not making that cell green. I'm making this one green. I'm making this green because it sees a 9 and a 1. So it can't be a crust. Now, is this 9, 8, 1, which looks very, very doable? And then the Renban already is a 9, 6, 7, 8 Renban, isn't it? That's very clear because it's got a 9 on. Nearly got a 5, 6, 7, 8 quad going in the row. I've got to put 1 either there or there. If it's here, that's an 8. If it's here, that's a 6. So either this is an 8 or that's a 6. So this is never an 8. And 1 this side needs 6, 2, 1. Right, let's think about that. Because this sandwich would be this Renban, getting the words wrong again, would have a 2 on it. This would be the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Renban using the middle column. And where would 6 go on that Renban if this was a 6? it wouldn't be allowed to go there or here or here, and it can't go there because this is a 5-6 pair in the central box. So that is not the 6, this is not the 1, this is the 1. It's clever, this. That's the sandwich 8. This is 6 or 7. That's a pair. That's an interesting pair because they're 6, 7 and they're different, and that means none of these cells can be 6 or 7. In fact, one of these cells is a 1. That's by Sudoku. And that's green. Yeah, and these are green. Okay, I'm sorry about the beeping. Bloomin' unattended car alarms. That can't be 8 anymore. So, that's quite interesting for this sum, which could be 764. But now, otherwise, it has an 8 in, and that would definitely be here. What about these? 9, 8, 1, and 4 have gone. These include digits from 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Is this interesting? Is this related to the theory that these can't be 6 or 7? Probably not. And we could still have 8 here. I am beginning to wonder very hard about this Renban now. I don't know. I've got this 23 sum beginning to form. Oh, something's happening here too. I'll tell you what's happening in this column, first of all, is that is a red crust cell because you couldn't confine them both above the 2. So that's a 1. There we go. Good. And the sandwich, it's at least 3 cells if it adds up to 20, and it's got a 2 in it, so I think it's at least 4 cells. Yeah, 2, 8, 7 absolutely doesn't get there. In fact, 2, 6, 8 is the most you could get to there, so that's in the sandwich, and the 9 is in one of those 2 cells. I'm going to now rule that the 9 is not here. And the basis for that is that these 3 would have to be 8, 7, 6 on the Renban. That would be an 8 because of this 8. And that would be a 7, 6 pair, and we'll break this cell. That's lovely. So this is not the 9. This is green. This is the 9 in the column. That adds up to 20. And the way we calculate, or the way we use that, is to look at these 2 cells. And if we say, if those add up to 20, and the crusts add up to 10, that's 30. These 2 have to add up to 15. We can't use a 9. I'm using the secret here. The secret is that 45 is the sum of every row, box, and any column. So that's a 7 and an 8, and they're done. And that's a 6 on the Renban. Wow. I mean, that's real progress. That's really interesting. This, I learned ages ago, is green because it's part of the sandwich, which adds up to 23 and can't just be 3 cells, is at least 4. So let's also do the outies sum in this column, because the outies, the sandwich digits add up to 23, the crusts add up to 10 as always, 33. The outies will add up to 12, and there must be at least 2 of them. So that's green. And there's a 1 in these cells. Can I now do a brilliant thing on this Renban and say that can't be a 1? I don't think so. These would add up to 12 in that case. They'd either be 8, 4 or 7, 5. I don't really have information about that. Okay, 7 has come out of these as a possibility. Now I'm wondering if this was the 98765 Renban, where would 8 and 7 go? They'd both have to be squashed into that cell. Perfect. So this is not. This is the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Renban, and that is not a 9. That's a green cell. These are from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all green. The 9, this is the 98765 Renban, and the 9 now has to go there. These ones are, they include 8 and 7, and they're from 8765. These include 2, 3, and 4. Now, what have I got going on? That's definitely the 9 down here. This can't be 6. I mean, this is part of a 2, 3. Now there's a reversing truck as well as the blooming BMW alarm going off outside. Honestly, don't know how I survive. I mean, it must be annoying for you as well, and I do apologise. That can't be a 7, that can't be a 6. This sandwich is getting narrowed down a bit, but not enough, I suspect. No. What about, oh, this one is getting narrowed down to 2 cells, and that therefore isn't a 5, and also now it can't be an 8. So that's a 7, that's a 3. This is a 2, 4 pair. We can take 2 out of those cells. 1, 3, 2, 4, 7. We can take 7 out of there. These don't have a 6 in, so 6 has suddenly got placed in the box. These are from 5, 8, 9. And we can't have a 5 in those cells. This one, I don't know. Oh, those can't have a 6 in. That's a 3, 5 pair. That's a 2, 4 pair. This is a 6. There we go. It is coming together down at the bottom. Lovely, lovely stuff. 3, 7 pair there. Now, these two add up to 11. And that can't be a 5, therefore, because this would need to be a 6. So that's an 8. This is a 3. Come on. Come on. Right. 1, 6, 8, 3, 9. That 8 makes this a 7. On this Renban, that's an 8. In the row, that's a 7. This couldn't be 5 or 6 or 2 in this box. Oh, we've got 6 on this Renban, so that's a 5. That's a 6. That takes 6 off this Renban. That takes 5 out of this cell. And that bottom Renban is all done. This is good because we still haven't approached this sandwich yet, or these 2 Renbans which are waiting to be looked at. That's a naked 3. That's a 4, 6 pair. This is a 1, 2, 3 triple. This digit is 8. I don't know why I'm still colouring, but I am. This group is 2, 4, 5. Okay, now the 23 sum, we said the outies added up to 12. That could still be in 2, but can this be a 1? For this Renban, that would be a 4, and this would be a 2, 3 pair. And then we'd have 4, 5 in these cells. 1, 7, 9. Oh, the row just clings on. It gets it done. Oh, look, there's a 4, 5 pair there and there. So that's a 4, 5 pair. That's a 1, 2 pair. This might yield Sudoku. That informed the stuff above. This is 1, 2, 8. That's not 8. That's not 1. I could do a tiny bit of colouring. Okay, that didn't quite yield enough. Now, let's go back to thinking about this being a 1 with a 4 here and a 2, 3 pair here. This does still work in the column. But you've got 1 and 4 there. Now I'm thinking about this Renban. Oh, this might be interesting in its own right, given that 2, 4, 5 are tied up in the box. 9 can't appear on this Renban because it couldn't go with whatever digit that was. So 9's in one of those 2 cells. Now 9's in one of those 2. Oddly, I can put 9 on this Renban with 6 there, 8 there, and 7 here. Now here's why I can't do that, and that's beautiful. Right. It's because of this 23 column. If you were to put 9 there, which would require this to be 8, that 8 would become one of these outies, which have to add up to 12. Well, you can't make those 3 add up to 12 with an 8 in row 2, column 7. So that is not a 9. This is the 9 in row 2. That is going to tell me where 9 is in box 6. It's probably not going to tell me that much else. Doesn't tell me which of these is 9. However, let's go back to think about this again. it's not quite as conducive to being helpful as I'd thought. Because, no, it is. Okay, there can't be a 1 on this Renban, because you couldn't put 1, 2, 3, 4 on it, or you wouldn't fill those cells. I think there must be a 6 on this Renban, and maybe even a 7. Could it be? It can't be 2, 3, 4, 5, so we've got to go up to 6. Can it be 3, 4, 5, 6? No, because again you couldn't fill those 2 cells. So 6 and 7 are both on this Renban. And now, what does that do in this row? At least one of those is 6 or 7. Oh, I tell you what it does. Once you put 7 on it, it takes 2 off it. That's not a 2. So 5, 6 and 7 are all on this Renban. We're selecting from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 now. That digit, oh look, there's a 7 and 6 looking at that digit. Can't be 6 or 7. If we're going to put 6 or 7 on this Renban, they've got to be in those 2 cells. That is 4 or 5. This is, well, I've written that this is 3, 4 or 5, but there's a 2, 4, 5 triple in the box, so that's 3. No. No, it's absolutely not. Right, which conclusion was wrong? I'll tell you which conclusion was wrong. It was the one that said there had to be, that we were selecting from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was wrong, because 8 is possible. So 6, let's go back to this point of pencil marking. Say that that can't be 6 or 7, and this must be 6 and 7. This digit can't be 2, 4, 5, 6 or 7. It can't be 3, because you'd need both 4 and 5 on the Renban. So it must be 8. And that's now a 5 in the corner. Right, sorry about slight misforming of opinions there. That's not 8, that's not 5. This box now needs 1, 3 and 9. Ooh, get to colour a cell red, unusually. That one is 1 or 3. That one is 1, 3 or 9. Okay. Now, this row surely is going to tell me something really, really useful. If that was a 6, then where would 1, 2 and 3 go in the row? Ah, no, that's not good enough, because 3 could go on this Renban. Oh, I've just noticed the alarm stopped. I wonder when that happened. So 6 is just possible there. That would be 7, that would be 5. Oh, that may have made it impossible. Hang on, 6 there, 7, 5. These would include, hang on, what? 6, 7, 5, 8, 9. These would be from 1, 2, 3, 4. But this would have to be a 6, 5, 4, 3 Renban then. So you'd get 3, 4 here and a 5 here. So that's one possibility. I'm going to just try and remember that. 3, 4 here and a 5 here. The alternative is that this is 4, in which case that is 2. You're going to need 1 digit from 5, 6, 7 here and 1 from 1, 2, 3. Oh, it works. I can't see how to do that. I'm going to have to come to this 23 column now. Being a numpty, I think. Right, can it be 3 outies? Oh, for it not to be 3 outies, this is a 1. Now that may be the case that we have to eliminate. For this to be a 1, that's 8 or 7 with a 4 or 5 there, making outies of 12. Okay, then the Renban becomes 1 with a 4, 2, 3, and that won't work. Right, this can't be 1, because that would be 4, that would be 2, that would be 3. This would have to be from 5, 6, 7. But with 1 4 on the Renban, you can't have a 5, 6 or 7. You have to get 2 and 3 onto it. So this is not a 1. This is the 1. It's off the Renban, unsurprisingly. All of these are green. That, by the way, is the only place for 1 in the column, which I only got from the colouring. This is now a 9 over here, and this isn't a 9. And it's not a 1 either, so it's a 3. 3s are green, just like trees are green. 2, 1 down here, and we can colour those. Now there's a different alarm. I mean, it would alarm you. Right, where have we got a sandwich? Here. We've got a sandwich here. And, oh, I was going to say 8 isn't in it, but that's not necessarily true. Can we do this sandwich? These add up to 23, or the outies add up to 12. And I don't know how that works. Okay, let's do some Sudoku over this side. 4, 2, 4, 5, 9, 5. And a bit of completionist colouring. In fact, we've coloured the whole grid. There we go. Okay. Now, that's not a 1. In fact, neither of those are a 1, and this is a 1 and is coloured wrongly. So I boast about completing the whole colouring of the grid, but I've done it wrong. Doesn't really matter because this 1 doesn't contribute to a sandwich. That 2, 3 pair looks at this cell. These have been available for ages. How come I didn't do them? Don't know. Now we're still back to this 23 sum and this Renban. So if that's 6, then we've got 7, 5. We couldn't have a 2 on the Renban, so that would be 2, and this would be a 3, 4 pair, and that would be 5. That's what happens if this is 6. If this is 4, we've got 2 over here. We're definitely going to need 3 on the Renban, because it can't go anywhere else in the row. I mean, that's actually already obvious. If that's a 4, 2 is there, there's a 3 on the Renban, and either 5, 6 or 7 in these cells. And I don't know what that means about this cell. Okay, so I don't know. Let's leave out that noting. What I have noted here is that 3 is sitting next to a 3 or a 2. And therefore we can actually put a 3 on that Renban. Now, for this to be a 6, that's the extreme case, because now 3, 4, 5 have to sit here. We would have a 3, 4, 5 triple there, and a 2 and a 7 here. That, you see, I can see the effects of that. That would make this a 6, this a 7, this a 5. That would force this to be 5. Oh, let's just have a general think about this. It's either got a 4 or a 6 on it, and it's definitely got a 3. If it's got a 6, this is 3, 4, 5. If it's got a 4, we've got a 3 here. We're never having a 7 on this Renban. That's not possible. So none of those is a 7. Oh, look, there's a 7 X-wing there. And if we can't have a 7 on the Renban, this digit is 7. Ah, now that might get us some Sudoku done. Gets us a bit done. This is a 2, 4 pair. That's a 2 X-wing with 2s there. That places 2 down here. Now we've got a 4 X-wing between these, so 1, 4 used up in row 1, 1 in row 9. That uses the ones in column 7 and 9. And these can't be 4s, and this is. And now we've definitely got 3 and 5 here. And as this told me, these two to finish the box are going to be 6 and 8. I know. Oh, hang on. No, it's gone wrong here, hasn't it? Right, let's go back. Something has gone wrong. Right, that was 8, that was 6, that was 7, that was 5. Then I put an 8 in here, which should be a 7. I don't know if that's going to fix what I'm finding going wrong. That's an 8. That's by Sudoku. Okay, that's going to, I don't need all these X-wings maybe. That's going to do my 2 and 8 pair. Now, what was I doing? I was finding the 7 X-wing. Then I think I made a mistake. Oh, that too is looking at this cell. These are just unwinding by Sudoku. We've got a 4 there and a 5 on the Renban, and we know there's a 3. The other digit is a 6. That is a 3-6 pair. It is just unwinding automatically if I avoided making mistakes. I'm going to blame that car alarm. 7 and 6, 7 and 3. 2, 4, 5 triple down here. That's the 4, that's the 2, that's the 5. 3 and 5 here. What a marvellous puzzle. That's really clever. Oh, time. If I'd taken 3 seconds more, it would say 44:44, which would be marvellous. As it is, I'm still very happy with 44:41. It's a decent time. And thank you very much for watching. What a great puzzle by Bremster. Hope to see you soon on the channel. That's really a clever mix. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.